Nebraska gets completely obliterated versus Indiana in a game that, frankly, wasn't even close. I'm embarrassed. I'm embarrassed on behalf of every single Nebraska fan around the country. That was abysmal to watch. There's a million different ways I can take this. Okay, I don't know which way I'm going to go down just yet. It's going to be a heck of a video. Make sure to hit that like button and subscribe if you're new here. Unbelievable what we just watched. I want to start off by giving credit to Indiana because they're a good football team. They're 7-0. They're good. But I also want to mention the fact that Indiana has a first-year head coach in Kirk Cignetti. We've heard for the longest time as Nebraska fans that it takes 3, 4, 5 years to rebuild a team and that we should just be okay with mediocrity until then. Somebody didn't give Indiana that same memo, apparently. Because Kirk Cignetti walks in there in a garbage football program historically and goes 7-0 for the first time in 60 years. And their talent is good there. But it's not as good as what we have at Nebraska. We got flat out coached today. The boys didn't want it bad enough at all. They didn't want it at all. And Matt Rhule, once again, cannot win the big game. We'll get to that. But he got out coached thoroughly against Kirk Cignetti. It was embarrassing. Okay, I want to start off talking about our special teams because that was a huge issue all year long. Can we figure it out this week? Absolutely, we cannot. We had 3 bobble kickoff returns. That's something we haven't even dealt with all season long. It feels like whenever we may or may not fix an issue, another one pops up. 3 bobble kick returns. To begin this game, Ja'Cory Barney caught a kick return at the 1-yard line and went out of bounds. It is pathetic. New mistakes are popping up every single game. Okay, what is going on in our practices that we can't fix this type of stuff? It is stupid. The offense was horrendous once again. Dylan Raiola threw 2 awful interceptions. He once again does not look like the player we thought he was going to look like. We could not run the football today. We averaged 3 yards per carry. The offensive line got no push. Our wide receivers didn't show up. Jamal Banks didn't show up. Isaiah Nair didn't show up. Okay, you know who did show up? Ja'Cory Barney's a true freshman. He's fighting for this team, but the elders aren't doing it. That's the problem. Matt Rhule has said time and time again that the older players are, setting the accountability on these younger players. But it feels like a lot of these younger players, they want it more. There are a lot of problems in this Nebraska football team. Let's get to this defense because it was horrendous too. We heard all week how Nebraska has a top 10 defense, top 5 defense. We gave up 350 yards in the first half. And we gave up around 50 points today to an Indiana squad. Okay, they could do whatever they wanted. We couldn't get to the quarterback. We couldn't stop the passing game. And so much so that the backup quarterback walks into Indiana because their quarterback got hurt, and he begins to throw dimes as well. Okay, everybody was scoring today for the Hoosiers. So this defense is pathetic. This offense is pathetic. This special team is one of the worst in the country. What can we possibly do well? The answer is nothing. This is the 26th consecutive ranked loss for Nebraska, dating back 8-9 years. And once again, we ask ourselves, can Matt Rhule win the big game? He never won the big game at Temple. He never won the big game at Baylor. Yes, he had some good teams, but he never beat that top 25 really good team. And time again, we see the exact same thing in Nebraska. Oh yeah, cool, he can beat Rutgers 14-7, a garbage Rutgers team we found out. Yeah, he could barely scrape by against these teams and get victories. Cool, but he can't beat actually competitive squads. Okay, showed up last year. We lost 4 straight last year. We only needed to win 1 to make a bowl game. This year, we already have losses to Illinois and Indiana. Both of those are good teams, but they're not unbeatable. They're not Ohio State. Guess what? We have Ohio State on the schedule next week. I don't know where that's going to go. So Matt Rhule just can't win the big game. Nebraska fans aren't stupid. Okay? We've compared Matt Rhule to a politician a lot. And I'm not blaming Matt Rhule. I'm not off the Matt Rhule bandwagon. I still think he's going to figure things out in Nebraska. Let me be clear. But this type of loss should not be happening in year 2 against Indiana of all teams. It'd be one thing if we got blown out versus Michigan, Ohio State. It's another thing to get blown out by a team that's in the exact same position we are, but they have a better head coach. Nobody's debating that after this game. Kirk Cignetti one of the best coaches in the country. He turned them around in 1 year, and we're still scraping by after 2. And we have more talent than them at every position, and we can't figure it out. We got outcoached today. You know what's funny? Matt Rhule preaches physical dominance, that we're going to control the time possession, control the line of scrimmage. We're going to run it down their throat. And yet Indiana was the team that did that today. They were the ones who physically dominated us in every aspect. They were pushing us back to the line of scrimmage. They were getting to the quarterback. They were dominating in the secondary. Okay, they dominated us literally at every point of this ball game. It's just ironic. That's something that this entire coaching staff preaches. And let's get to the coaching staff. Because we find out time and time again, although I still believe Matt Rhule is a good coach, you are only as good as your coaching staff. Not just the head coach, but the assistants, the coordinators. The head coach is only as good as the guys that he employs. And what we have figured out, we already figured this out last year, we have one of the worst coaching staffs in the country. Ed Foley, we just got out of a bye week. He deserved to be fired, and he was not, because Matt Rhule does not fire guys. Marcus Satterfield, what are we doing here? Same issues he had last year with so much more talent. Garrett McGuire's another guy who is our wide receivers coach. We have a lot of talent in this receiver room, and yet they're not producing, not doing Raiola many favors. Heck, even Tony White, who's a great coordinator, he didn't show up today, clearly, because we gave up 50 points. You are only as good as your staff. Matt Rhule hired a staff. He hired these guys. These are his boys. Okay, it feels like it's all deja vu because this is the same crap that we have with Scott Frost. Same crap. It's the same scenario where Scott Frost brings in his boys. His staff is terrible. We blame the staff and not the head man. Both of those guys are our default, right? We should blame Matt Rhule. We should hold him accountable. And I still believe Matt Rhule is a good coach. I think he's going to figure it out. But again, this is unacceptable in year 2, and it's unacceptable that we have awful assistant coach and he refuses to get rid of them because those are his friends, right? You don't want to get rid of your friends, apparently. It's even worse that we're coming out of bye week, and he had an opportunity to fire those guys. He had an opportunity to get the boys ready to go. We're healthy in this game. We had nobody injured today. The entire troops, the entire starting lineup was in, and we still got embarrassed. Okay, we got killed today. Absolutely embarrassed. And the thing that frustrates me the most is we thought this was behind us. We thought these type of days were behind us. Okay, we might lose this game, but at least we're going to put up a good fight. We didn't put up a fight today. It was over after the first quarter. It was over at halftime. We thought this was behind us, man. And it's not. And that's what I'm frustrated about. Because I was optimistic about this game. I predicted Nebraska to win. Deep down in my heart, I didn't believe that because I knew Indiana was a good team. We need to respect these opponents, but we also need to understand that we're super talented. So I'm going to give a lot of respect to Indy because they're a good squad. I expected them to go out there and give us a run for our money and probably win. But did I expect them to blow us out? No. Okay, they're a good team. But we are supposed to be too. And we didn't do it. You lose games because of one or two reasons. You either lose because you have less talent or you have worse coaching. We do not have less talent than Indiana. And if you think we do, that's another Matt Rhule issue because Matt Rhule had an opportunity to go to the portal just like Indiana did, and he didn't do it. Okay, Indiana was awful last year. They had a brand new head coach, and they fixed their holes through the portal. That's modern day college football, like it or not, guys. So if they are more talented than us, that's another issue that reflects on this coaching staff. I truly believe we're more talented. So if we're more talented, then our coaching staff is the reason we lost, and I couldn't agree more. I couldn't agree more. The coaching staff is the reason we lost because we got outcoached today. Kirk Cignetti's one of the best coaches in the country. Matt Rhule cannot win the big game. His assistant coaches once again show you that they should not be employed by this university, and we get embarrassed in a game that should have been a celebration for Nebraska. We should have been clinching our first bowl game in 8 years, and yet we have to wait another week. And guess what? We play Ohio State next week. They're in Columbus. Might as well not watch that one, right? And then we play UCLA at home. You'd think that's going to be a win, right? UCLA just beat Rutgers bad today. Who knows if we're even favored going to that one. Then you end your schedule with USC on the road, Wisconsin, who we haven't beaten in 11 years, and Iowa. I'm just saying, we lost 4 straight to end the year last year. Who says it doesn't happen again when we lose 6 straight? Okay, Matt Rhule's got to turn around this ship quick because he might lose the locker room. That's unfortunately what happens in losses like this. You don't really lose the locker room when you lose in a one-score game. You lose the locker room when you get blown out and embarrassed. So he got to make decisions quick because he got exposed today. So to Matt Rhule, we still believe in you. We're disappointed in you because you're getting paid $8 million a year, more than every single person watching this video, to put a good football team on the field, and you got obliterated by another new head coach who was in a worse position than you were. So although we're disappointed in you, we still believe, but you've got to make something happen quick and fix this thing. Okay, it's clear as day to me that we're not good enough to win 8-9 games. That's evident to me now. Now I'm just trying to get to a bowl game. Hopefully we could do that because the talent's there. We will see, man. I'm disappointed today. I'm disappointed. I'm angry. We deserve to be angry. We deserve to be angry. It's one thing to be pessimistic after a close loss. It's another thing to be rightfully angry after you get obliterated on national television. Frustrating game today, guys. I don't know if we bounce back anytime soon. I'm going to take some time to refresh, to decompress. I'm going to be live after the game, talking more about it, just hearing what you guys have to say. So make sure to come in here after the game. I will be live. So make sure to tune in. All right, guys, let me know down below. What are your thoughts around today's loss to Indiana? Let me know in the comment section. Hey, if you made this far in the video, shout out to you. Hit that like button and subscribe. And as always, folks, go Big Red, go Matt Rhule still, and see you in the next one.